What up, everybody? Welcome back. Today, I wanted to talk some more about Fantasian, and I wanted to talk about pretty much all the information we have available right now. It's not a lot, but what we do have is really good, so let's go ahead and get into it. I want to start off with the story, and it sounds like typical RPG, but bear with me. I have a reason why I'm not worried about it. So, it's a young man named Leo looking for his missing father. Along the way, he gets into some type of accident and ends up in a place called the Machine Realm. And he loses his memory. And the only thing that he remembers is a woman named Kina, who I'm assuming is the other character that's pretty prominently featured in the trailer. But his only memory is of her and returning to the human realm. Now, as far as what returning to the human realm is, I don't know if that is where he is from or if it's some new place where Leo's never been before but is populated by humans instead of machines. Either way, that world is being consumed by some machine virus or something like that is taking over the world, and they're on a quest to shut it down. Now, like I said, that kind of sounds like your everyday average Japanese RPG story, but the reason I'm not concerned about it is because the story is written by Sakaguchi himself, and you know what he represents, his resume, all that. So I know that this surface level story that we've gotten is not what the game is going to end up being. And I know that you guys are as excited as I am to find out what the real story is, like the meat and potatoes, once you get past that little intro quest part. What is this game really about? As far as gameplay goes, in an interview with Polygon, Sakaguchi mentioned that he and some of the team had just played Final Fantasy VI. So, FYI, he helped write that. So, he wanted to make a game that was like a traditional Japanese RPG, turn-based gameplay with random battles, going to towns, talking to NPCs, going to dungeons, killing the boss. He wanted to make that kind of thing. But again, knowing what his reputation is, there's always some kind of spin or twist on the traditional battle system. And this time they came up with a doozy. So they came up with this system called the Demi Dungeon. And when you activate this system, and as far as it goes, I don't know if it's just going to be like a system in game or if something that's being written into the actual story. But either way, once you activate it, any random battles you're supposed to get in while you're exploring are basically stored. And the monsters that you fight, or supposed to fight rather, in those battles are sent to the Demi Dungeon, and you continue exploring uninterrupted. Now, in the trailer, it showed that there's only a limited amount of monsters that you can store at a time. I don't know if that number is set throughout the game or if it's something that rises through like your level or items or anything like that. But in the trailer, it showed that you can store 30. It was 18 to 30. And when you go to the Demi Dungeon to clean it out, you fight all the monsters that you stored in there at once in one giant battle. And in the trailer, it showed Leo doing, what is that limit break? I want to say it's Climate Hazard's the one where he stabs and goes up. Cloud's limit break where he slashes the sword and the blade beam. It looks like blade beam. And it takes out like 5 enemies at once. And it shows the girl that I'm assuming is Kina doing a magic spell that curves, and hits like 6 enemies at once. So just right off the bat, what is the enemy formation in the Demi Dungeon? Are they just randomly placed? Is there like a grid that they're all on? Is it just like a random assortment of ways they can be set up? And how do you do the attacks that curve and like move in different directions? And like, do certain attacks just go in certain ways, or can you manipulate certain attacks in certain ways? Like, I don't know, but I'm trying to find out because I've never seen anything like this before, and it looks absolutely amazing. So I'm sure all of you noticed as you were watching the trailer just how gorgeous all the backgrounds are in this game. And there is a really, really crazy reason for that. So all the backgrounds are handmade dioramas. 150 artists made 150 different handmade backgrounds that these characters interact on. So all your models are 3D, typical 3D models, but all the stages, all the towns, all the dungeons, handmade dioramas. I've never seen anything like this in a game before, and it is gorgeous. So what's crazy about it is what Sakaguchi said about it in the Polygon interview. He said 2 things that really stood out to me. He said that when you're designing maps this way, you have to be really intentional in your design, because unlike 3D game making, you can't go back and add an exit. You can't go back and add roads, he said. He said that once the artisans start making your stage, that's your stage. Nothing you can do about it. And when you think about it that way, making a game this way has to be not only expensive, but a giant risk. Because if you don't absolutely love everything you design, there's nothing you can do about it. You stuck with it. It is a bold. It's bold, and it is a huge risk, but it paid off because this game is beautiful. So we don't have a solid release date yet, but Sakaguchi did say that the game has been in development for 3 years and that it will release in 2021 because it's almost finished. So that is really great news for everyone looking forward to this game. What is unfortunate though is that this game is releasing on Apple Arcade, which means it's locked to iOS, iPhones, and Macs, which is very unfortunate in my opinion. I'm a big proponent of, I hate console exclusives. I can't stand them. If you didn't make it, as far as you, Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft did not create the franchise, there's absolutely no reason or no excuse for it to not be out on everything. Every game should be out on every console and accessible to everyone. And the fact that this game is not really hurts, because this is going to be a full-blown console Japanese RPG. Nothing on Apple Arcade has microtransactions. They are full-blown real games. And I know that there are so many fans of this genre that just don't rock with iPhones. And it's the simple fact that want to emulate older games and play games on our phone, and that's not really something you can do on an iPhone, not without having to jump through a bunch of hoops. So I hope that one day Miss Walker decides to release this game on Android, or even like a Switch port or something like that would be cool. We'll see. But as for now, it's releasing on Apple Arcade in 2021, and fortunately I have the means to play it, so I'm really excited about it despite it being stuck on one platform. But like I said, we'll see. Fingers crossed that it comes out on other platforms and other consoles. Alright guys, that's all the information we have for now. If there's something that you know that I didn't talk about or cover, please let me know in the comments. I am desperate for information about this game. If you just want to talk about the game in general, I am down for that too. So please hit me up in the comments for that as well. As always, I appreciate you guys watching, and I really appreciate your support. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.